Welcome back everyone, this is Simon here from SciFit, and in this video here I'll be talking about why people don't change and why you must change. See, when people don't change, it basically comes down to two things. It comes down to the fear of the change, the fear of the unknown, and then it comes down to the sort of like the rejection, like all the things they have to go through now in order to be able to change. It could be rejection from other people, it could be rejection from yourself in terms of like, will I make it? Like all the hard work I have to do now, like all the things I have to go through, will it be possible for me? I won't be able to do that. The fear of not getting and not going in that direction you want to go, not being able to hit the target, not being able to actually change and actually see yourself follow through and get success with that thing. That's what hold most people back, and that's what will hold you back if you don't take action. Why do we have fear? Why do we have fear of the change? Because it's like you will get uncomfortable when you change. When you do something new, you will get uncomfortable. And that will like automatically sort of like spark something in you that this is not normal. I shouldn't be doing that. It would be easier for me just to stay at home. It would be easier for me not to say anything in the meeting. It would be easier for me to not going on that diet and going to the gym and actually start changing my body. It would be easier for me just to stay at home because I know what it is. I know what it's like. I know the people I have around me. Like, I'm comfortable. We as a human being, we're seeking naturally, we're seeking comfort. We are not like, our brain is not wired to do things. There's uncertain, there's uncomfortable, because automatically our brain is wired in that way that it tries to protect us. So when you want to change, when you want to go in a different direction and you go in that different direction, well, you're going against everything your nature is saying you not to do. And why do we have that? Why do we have that fear instinct of rejection? Why do we have that fear instinct of the unknown, the uncertainty, the insecurity? Well, you know, it comes from many years ago, like when we were way before in time where we had to survive and it was us against the animals and all that. It was basically that fight and flight instinct we have, like when a big tiger or something or a big bear came to sort of attack us. What should we do? Should we fight the bear or should we run from the bear? That's basically from back then that we sort of like as human beings developed that sort of mindset in terms of if something becomes uncomfortable for us, like something is happening, what should we do? Should we run or should we fight? And that's basically the same mechanics that sort of triggers you when you're doing a new thing for you that might feel uncertain and that might feel uncomfortable. So why must you change? Why do you have to change? Well, it basically comes down to one thing. If you're not changing, if you're not growing as a human being, let me ask you this question. If you're thinking about where you currently are in your life right now, and you saw yourself 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, would you want to go back and then do it all over again? Would you want to go back to that 20 years old you or 30 years old you or 10 years old you and have to do it all over again? Would you live back there again? Of course not. Or maybe because it's got worse for you in the future. But for most human beings, we're growing naturally in a different direction. It can be with family, our loved ones, our spouse, our spiritual side, our mindset, our career, our health. It should progressively move in a certain direction all the time, because otherwise, the saying is that if you're not growing, you're dying. If the tree is not growing up from the ground, it's dying, basically. It just takes time and then it dies slowly. And the same way for you, if you're not challenging yourself, if you're not changing yourself and moving yourself in a new direction, basically every single day, step by step, every single day, and actually push yourself in a direction that you see yourself becoming a different person. You're seeing yourself becoming the best version of yourself. That's the phrase I'm keep hammering on for you guys there, but it's all about having that projected, like, what is my potential? What is the future gonna look like for me? You'll be pulled in that direction, and pulled in that direction, I mean you will be pulled upwards, and that means you'll be growing and growing and growing. Would you have to face challenging all the way up there? Of course, but that's back to the first thing again. We are not wired to do anything that feels uncertain. So what you're gonna do in that situation, that you're gonna break that habit, break that limit, break that pattern about you are stronger than that. You teach your mind, you teach your body to go in that direction you want to go. So when you start up and actually want to change, you want to change something in your life right now, well, you got to start with the smaller changes. You're going to start with increments. So let us say you figure out, this is my future, this is my, I want to go towards that person, I want to become that person, right? You know, it might seem like a big jump from where you are right now to where you would like to go, but that's up here. It's pulling you. It's constantly reminding you about who's the person you want to become. So what you're going to start with here, you're going to start with the small steps. You're going to start with the small increments in terms of walking in that direction. But first of all, if you don't know the path, if you don't know where you're going, you won't end up anywhere. You will just walk around years after years and kind of see yourself maybe in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years being like, what the hell happened to the last 20 years of my life? So you getting clear about your sort of like projected future. What is the ultimate outcome you want to achieve in certain areas? It could be now as well, you know. If you want to get in shape with your body and all that, and you have like 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and you want to lose 20 kg, well, you're gonna start the journey right now. But you're not like, you can't go from where you are right now to losing 20 kgs like now. You need to do the groundwork, but as soon as you know where you're going, then you can start implementing the steps. And what I mean by that, you're gonna start figuring out what are some small steps, what are steps I can do every single day that will lead me in that direction. Good way to start with that is the habits. It's the sort of like the routines, the habits you have for yourself every single day. So if you're trying, again, as we talked about before, you wanna get in shape, you wanna lose weight, you wanna tone up, you wanna lose those 20 kgs, you know. What are some new empowering habits you can implement today, starting today, that you know will empower you and that you know will push you in that direction of your goal? That's basically what it comes down to. Because if you can lay the brick, remember Will Smith in an interview, it's not about the most beautiful wall. We see the beautiful wall as a finished product, but you're not gonna see it as like, I'm gonna build a wall. You're gonna see it as, I'm gonna lay the perfect brick every single day, because when you do that every single day, 4, 5, 6 months down the track, you would have lost those 20 kg. You would have achieved those results because you're laying the brick every single day. So stop the video right now, and I will encourage you to write down what are 2 to 3 empowering new habits, routines, steps I can take and I can implement starting today that will move me in the direction of the projected future, of the projected myself, the outcome, the results you want to achieve out in the future. So when you start moving and you start changing and you start working on yourself, it's gonna be a grind work. It's gonna be, you know, an everyday thing. And that's the thing, back to the habits, back to the routines. It's not just something you say to yourself, now, Monday, I'm gonna eat healthy and I'm gonna train, and then I might do it again next Monday. It's like, it's a thing, you know. It's something you do, and that's the thing with the routines. It becomes part of you as you start doing it, and you won't even think about it as a thing anymore. It's just become you, the person you are right now. But for you to stay on track long term, like we're talking about long term, this is going to be a lifestyle for you right now. This is going to be a new you. You will have, for your brain to sort of keep you going and keep you motivated and keep you inspired and all that, you gotta reward yourself. You're gonna link some sort of pleasure to the new change you're doing. You're gonna link some sort of pleasure to what I'm doing right now is actually giving me some benefits. Because if you're like, in 10 years, I am gonna live in another country, I'm gonna have a big mansion, I wanna have the career I want, I wanna have a wife, 2 kids, I wanna have the ultimate body, 10 years down the track. You know, if you just have that written down in your little book and then you put it into your shelf and then you start working, you know, you like it's out in the future. And it doesn't matter. It could be 6 months out in the future. You want to have something on the road towards that goal that give you some sort of reminder, a pleasure of, I am doing the right thing. I am doing better now, reward. I am doing even better right now, reward. Because when you start linking up some sort of pleasure, good things, to the new path you're going towards, your brain will link up that this thing I'm doing right now, it could be your weight loss again. You might hate it. Fuck, I have to do it every single day. I have to train. I have to do all that, eat all that food, you know. It will be a struggle for you to get there. But if you can start seeing it as a good thing, something that helps me, something that creates joy and happiness and energy and juice and passion, fulfillment. If you can start linking up those emotions to lose those 20 kg, I promise you, you will get that result even faster. You will enjoy it even faster, and you will go even further with your goals in the future. And I promise you, this is the key for you to change and for you to love the new path you're going on.